The divine is in you now. I will give you simple steps to uncover it, to stand tall when the mind shakes, and to live from that light in daily life. In this video, I help you remember your true nature, the self that is fearless and free. You will learn how to step back from the noise of thought, how to cut the veil that makes you feel small, how to stand in strength without anger, and how to serve as a way to keep this light alive. If you feel lost or weak, you'll leave with clear steps you can use today. If you already practice, you'll leave with deeper steadiness and a wider heart. You wake up, and the mind starts to speak. Not enough, too late, too hard. The world adds more noise. By night you feel smaller. I do not accept this picture. I have seen a higher fact. You are divine. The small feeling comes from a veil, Maya, that covers your bright self. When you know the seer behind the scene, fear drops. When you know your strength, you can act with love. When you serve the same self in others, the light grows. This is not fantasy. It is a daily way to live clear, clean, brave. Here is how we will move. First, I'll help you step back from thoughts and stand as the witness. Then we will cut the veil. I'll show you a simple check that returns you to the seer in seconds. Next, we'll build fearless strength, how to assert the self without anger and carry hard days with a straight spine. Then we will make it practical, serve the God in every being so this truth stays warm and real. Along the way, I'll share short drills you can do in 1 minute, a line to say out loud when fear rises, and one countermove almost no one uses that makes peace return fast. Stay to the end. I'll leave you with a vow for 7 days and point you to the next lesson that deepens this light. We move from the opening into the heart of it. Because here's something most people completely miss when pain is loud and thoughts run fast. They think a strong thought must be true. They think a noisy fear must be them, so they fight the wave and drown in the splash. But let me show you the quiet turn that changed my life. There are 2 kinds of minds in the same storm. One is the wave up, down, hit, pull. The other is the ocean, deep, still, bright, same sky, different depth. And the difference is this simple seeing. I am the witness, not the whirl. Why does this matter so much? Because if you don't make this turn, a single thought can steal an hour, a mood can steal a day, and a season of your life can pass while you argue with clouds that were never meant to hold your weight. But when you do make this turn, the storm still moves and yet you do not. The noise still speaks and yet you choose, and your day returns to your hands like a tool you know how to use. So what is the move? Clear, small, repeatable. It is not a fight, it is a step back. It is a seat you can take anytime, anywhere. What? I remind myself. Thoughts are waves, I am the ocean, and then I let the body help the mind. How? I run a 1-minute drill I can do on a bus, in a hall, by a sink, in a crowd. I feel the breath at the nose, slow and steady, like I'm smoothing water. I name 3 body feels in plain words: warm face, tight jaw, heavy legs. I name 3 sounds: door closing, distant car, my own breath. I name 3 thoughts: I'm late, I'm tired, I'll fail. And then I say softly, I am the witness. In that instant, the picture shifts. The wave is seen, the ocean is known. The thought is still there, but it has lost the right to drive. Why does this work so fast? Because a seen thought is short, an unseen thought is long. A seen thought lasts seconds. An unseen thought steals hours. When you name it, you tame it. When you watch it, you free yourself from it. This is not theory. Try it now. 1 slow breath. 1 simple naming. 1 quiet line. Feel how the chest widens a little. Feel how the tight place loosens just enough for you to choose. Let me place a living picture in your hand so you trust the ground under your feet. 2 students wrote me from the same exam week. Both felt fear rise like heat. The first chased the fear, Googled more, scrolled more, felt smaller, slept late, and called the week cursed. The second used the 60-second witness 3 times a day, morning, noon, night, breathed, named, said the line, and then returned to 1 page, 1 problem, 1 step, same week. Same fear. Different depth. The difference? The second stood as the ocean. The wave still moved, yes, but it passed. Work got done, sleep returned. Peace, small at first, began to stay longer. Now, you might be thinking, but my thoughts are fast, I don't have a minute. Good, then we'll use 10 seconds. Stand by a window, look up, and run the sky practice. Find one cloud. Say, cloud moves, sky stays, I stay. That's it. 10 seconds to remember who you are. Or, if you're inside and the sky is not with you, use a small lamp on your desk. Bring the flame to eye level. See how it holds in a still room. Tell yourself, lamp in a windless place, the flame does not flicker. I am that steadiness. This tiny picture plants a steady feeling in the chest. From that feeling, your next act comes clean. Let me set the stakes again so the lesson sticks. Why? If you forget the witness, you will treat every thought like a command. You'll answer every worry as if it were a judge. You'll tie your value to passing moods and call that being honest. But if you remember the witness, you will carry the same life with a higher hand. You will pick your next duty with less drag. You will speak less but mean more. You will stop spending hours fixing storms that were only weather. And when the mind tries to trick you with a new, loud thought, you will smile like a sailor who knows the sea and say, wave, and I am the ocean. Now, take this into the body so it's not just a nice line in your power head. Right after this sentence, pause the screen and run the drill once. Feel breath at the nose. Name 3 body feels. Name 3 sounds. Name 3 thoughts. Say, I am the witness. Then do one small act at once. Place one book back, send one kind line, pour one glass of water. Action from the witness is light, quick, clean. That small act is your proof that you stood as the sky and let the cloud pass. Hold this stance for the next few minutes as we move on, because the witness gives you freedom, but freedom needs aim. Seeing the thought is the first victory. Choosing the path is the second. Now that I stand in the right place, I will move in the right way. Come with me. We will cut the veil. Scene changes. Seer remains, so your steps stay true even when the picture on the screen keeps shifting. We have taken the seat and seen the wave. Now I want to show you the blade that keeps that seat safe when the picture keeps changing. Because here is what most people miss right at this point. They remember for a moment, I am the witness. And then a new scene flashes on the mind's screen, and they fall into it as if they had never known the sky. So I place a simple knife in your hand, sharp and kind, and this next part might feel almost too small to matter, yet it will cut the knot in seconds. There are 2 ways to meet the day. One way is to become whatever appears on the screen. Happy face, sad face, praise, blame, gain, loss, jumping with each frame until you are dizzy. The other way is to know the screen itself and let the frames pass. Same theater, different seat, and the difference is a single living question that I ask in the very breath. When stress rises, it sounds like this. Who is aware of this? And I will tell you why that question matters before I tell you how to use it. Because if you do not ask it, you will keep trying to fix the scene while forgetting the seer. You will spend an hour polishing one moving picture only to have the next one arrive. And ask for more. You will chase calm by changing conditions and call that wisdom. And yet the moment you turn and look at the looker, the spell breaks, the knot loosens. And you remember, scene changes, seer remains. So what is the move? Clear, quick, repeatable, in a crowded hallway or a silent room. I call it the Maya check, and I use it as soon as the chest tightens or the jaw heats or the mind begins to hurry. I stop for one breath, not a grand pause, just one honest breath. And I ask 2 soft questions. What is changing right now? And who is aware of this change? That is all. I do not argue with the answers. I do not make a poem. I simply notice. The email content is changing. The image in the mind is changing. The pull in the stomach is changing. All this is seen. And the one who notices, that quiet, open knowing, has not moved an inch. That is seer. I rest one breath as that unmoving knowing, not running away from the task, not running away from the feeling, just resting as the screen on which it plays. And from there, I take my next step. And to keep it clean, I add one small phrase that ends the spell. I whisper wave, and I return to my duty. You can do this in a line at the store, in a meeting, on a train, in the dark, when worry is loud. It takes less than 10 seconds, and it gives you back your whole hour. Think of a cinema. It helps the heart understand. You sit and a storm scene roars. The sea is black, the ship is breaking, people scream, the body leans forward, and for a moment you are on that deck. Then you remember the white cloth before you, the simple still screen holding all this noise. The ship is an image, the scream is a sound. The cloth is not torn by the storm. That is how the mind works. and that is how the self remains. When I say scene changes, seer remains. I am not asking you to deny the movie. I am asking you to remember the screen while you watch it. And when you remember, you act better inside the story because you are not drowning in it. You can choose the next line, the next deed, the next mercy. Now let me set the stakes so you feel the edge of this in your day. If you forget the seer, the scene will keep naming you. A tense email arrives and suddenly you are a tense person. A delay happens and suddenly you are a doomed person. A praise lands and suddenly you are a great person. And the ride will throw you until you are sick. But if you return to the seer, the email is simply words to answer. The delay is simply time to breathe and choose. The praise is simply a flower that fades in an hour. You remain yourself through all of it, and your actions become clean, fast, kind, strong. You might say, I don't have time for such checks when life is moving, and I will smile and say, you don't have time for the mess that comes when you don't. This is a 10-second investment that saves 10 hours of repair. And if you say, won't this make me cold or distant? I will answer gently. It makes you present, not cold. When you aren't drowning, you can finally swim toward the person who needs you and bring them to shore. Let me give you a small living story so you trust your own hands. A young nurse wrote that the ward was heavy and fear sat in her throat. Each shift, she began to run the Maya, check at the hallway door. One breath, what is changing, who sees it, wave, return. She wrote that her hands felt steadier after the third shift. She heard families better. Her charting grew cleaner. And she cried one morning, not from fear but from relief. The storm still blew, but the screen did not tear. And because she was not the whirl, she could be the calm center her patients needed. I have seen the same turn on a crowded train, where a man almost slipped into anger at a shove. One breath, who notices the heat, wave, return, and the hand stays open, the face stays human, and a fight never starts. Now take this from talking to bone. Right now, do it with me once so your body knows. Bring one small stress to mind, not your worst, just a fresh one. Feel one breath at the nose. Ask quietly, what is changing here? Then ask, who is aware of this change? Rest one breath as that awareness, soft jaw, low shoulders. Now say wave and return in your mind, and pick one. Next duty you can do in 2 minutes. Begin it as soon as this sentence ends. That move seals the check. Seer remembered, scene acknowledged, work resumed, and the peace you feel is not escape, it is alignment. Hold this blade with respect, it is sharp and it is kind. Use it lightly, often, without drama. And watch how the day stops naming you and you start naming your day. The veil thins with practice, and when the veil is thin, strength rises without fear, because you can stand in the self and act in the world at the same time. That is our next step, and it is warm and bright and simple. We will stand up inside and speak from truth and move with love. Come with me now, because with the veil thin, strength can rise without fear. The veil is thin now and the screen is steady, so here is the move that most people never dare to make, though it changes an hour into a new life. I stand up inside, I stop waiting for courage to visit me like weather. I become courage by taking my place as the self and speaking from truth. And what I'm about to share might feel bold at first, yet it is kinder than fear because fear wastes you while strength lifts you. Look around any room and you'll see two kinds of souls in the same test. One asks, why me? And shrinks and circles the problem until the day is gone. The other asks, what now? And takes one clean step, and the world opens a little. Same problem, different spine. And the difference is not luck, the difference is the stance, the inner rise that says, I am not the small voice. I am the one who chooses the next act, and I will set the stakes clear so your heart remembers. If you miss this turn, you speak as a victim, and your words borrow power from panic. You push work away and work grows larger. You try to grab results and peace runs from your hand. But if you make this turn and assert the self without anger, firm, bright, calm, fear shrinks like a shadow at noon. Your voice gets simple. Your feet find the floor, and what looked like a wall becomes a door you can touch and open. So what is the move in plain steps that fit in a loud day? It starts with a single line that sets the bone of the back. I say out loud, even if it is a whisper, I am the self strong, bright, free. I let the mouth shape the words, so the body hears and the mind must follow. It is not a boast, it is the native fact of your being, and you feel it like warmth behind the ribs, then I count 5 breaths down like a quiet bell. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And on 1 I begin the task that is tiny, clear, and near. Not the whole mountain, only the next stone. Because motion cures panic, and panic cannot live in a moving hand. I open the document, I wash the cup, I make the call, I return the message, and I keep my eyes on the doing, not the drama. Now here comes the countermove that keeps the heart wide as the work grows heavy. When I get stuck or the chest tightens, I do a service switch for 1 minute. I help one person at once, a kind text, a chair pulled, a door held, a face listened to, and then I return to the task with a warmer chest and a steadier will. You may ask why this helps. Because ego is a small room that squeezes breath, but service opens windows, and in fresh air the mind obeys. This is not theory. This is a daily tool you can run at a desk or on a bus or in a hallway with bad light. Let me show you how this walks so you trust it. A young engineer told me he froze before hard tickets. He would stare and scroll and call himself names, and by evening his head would burn. We gave him this rise, 1 line, 5 breaths, 1 small start, 1 minute of service. If stuck, day 1 he spoke the line and opened the file. Day 3 he spoke the line and wrote 10 honest lines of code before his fear woke up. Day 7 he found himself helping a teammate for 90 seconds, then returning and finishing the work by noon. The blacksmith shapes iron with many steady strikes, not one shout. And so the self shapes a day the same way, steady, warm, exact. Now hear the WHY again, so it sinks past the ear. Getting this wrong means you will wear your weakness like a badge and call it truth. You will choose the sharp word and pay for it. You will grip outcomes so hard they bruise you. But getting this right means you will speak from a higher seat and not from a scared corner. You will act fully and then let the fruit go. Yes, let it go. Because non-attachment is the shield that keeps your peace while you work. Do you see the circle now? Stand up inside, do the next duty, release the fruit, stand again. The circle is small and strong, and it makes a day that does not break. Now run it once with me so it lives in your bones, and not only in your head. Sit or stand a little taller. Say softly, I am the self, strong, bright, free. Count the 5 breaths down with me, and on 1 pick a 2-minute task you can finish before this minute ends. Begin it the moment this line stops. And if a snag appears, send 1 kind line to 1 person and come right back. Feel the heat in the chest turn into simple warmth that travels down the arms into the hands, that is fear leaving and power taking its place. And I want you to notice something small and holy here. The strength you feel now is not hard. It is warm, it is steady, it is useful. It belongs to you and it does not ask anyone for permission. Hold it with respect, keep it gentle, and bring it into rooms where others are tired so your steadiness can steady them. Because strength without love is noise. Strength with love is Vedanta lived. And that leads us to the part that keeps this light real when the day gets crowded. We will take this standing self and meet the same self in others. We will turn work into worship and small acts into fuel, so the flame stays bright and strength seen and used. Now keep it warm and real in daily life. Come with me into practical Vedanta. Serve God in all. Now we bring this strength into the street and the kitchen and the inbox, because truth that stays only in the head turns cold. And what I'm about to share may seem small, yet it keeps the flame warm when the day gets crowded. I make my life a temple by seeing the same self in every face and serving there. Simple, clean, steady. And I'll tell you why this matters before I tell you how. Because without service, strength becomes tight. It turns into a fist that tries to control fruit and loses peace. But with service, strength becomes wide. It turns into open hands that give and then rest. And those hands can carry heavy loads without shaking. Look at any busy street and you'll see 2 kinds of walkers in the same hour. One is hard and closed, counting slights and guarding pride and growing tired by noon. The other is soft-spined and open-eyed, doing small right things and staying fresh till night. Same noise, different heart. The difference is this daily vow. I will serve the God in all, and I will let the fruit go. Now the why, in plain words. If you work for praise, you will chase numbers and forget people. You will pull at the seed to make it grow and break it in your hand. You will measure your worth by a graph and your sleep by a comment. But if you work as worship, you will give your full best. You will release the result. You will sleep clean even when the world is late to clap. And clean sleep is power tomorrow. What is the what? It is a tiny pattern I keep. No matter where I am, I call it 111 because even on hard days I can hold it. One duty, one kindness, one letting go. One duty means I do a small near task for my home or my work till it is complete. Wash one cup till it shines. Answer one message with care. Sweep one small floor. One kindness means I serve a person who is in front of me now, a warm line to a tired friend, a minute of listening with my whole face, carrying a bag up the stair, leaving a seat, sharing food. One letting go means I set down one weight I do not need to carry today. Closing the tab that steals my will. Forgiving a small slight. Walking past a fresh argument I do not need to win. Now, the how in motion, so it sticks when life is fast. I begin my work hour with a whisper, for truth, for service, for peace, and I make the next 60 minutes wholly by a quiet rule. No metric checking, while the hour is for work. I do the work, just the work, with my full heart, and when the itch to look rises, I smile and say, not yet. And I return to the breath in the hands. At the end of the hour I stand, I stretch, I drink water, then I look once to learn, not to praise myself, not to whip myself, only to learn where to aim next. And if praise comes I bow to it and let it pass. If blame comes I bow to it and let it pass, because I am the worker, not the clap, not the hiss. To keep the current clean I keep a tiny seed log at night. I write 3 seeds. I planted one thought, one word, one act, and I add one weed I dropped, and I close the book like a door. This 5-line habit turns faith into proof and shows me that small good done daily becomes strong good in season. Let me lay a small living story in your palm so you trust this with your bones. A shopkeeper wrote that his heart was hard by 4 o'clock each day. Too many faces, too much complaint. He began to run 111. And the hour of worship, day 1, he wiped one counter with love, as if it were an altar. He carried one bag for a quiet elder. He let one rude word float by without grabbing it. Day 3, he added the no metrics hour, and found he sold no more objects but he gave more peace. And by the 2nd week his chest felt wide at closing time, and he said, I met God in 10 people today. Nothing mystical, only simple service, repeated, which is the purest mysticism of all. And if you say, if I let go of results, won't I get lazy? I answer gently, no, letting go is not quitting. It is cleaning. It removes fear from your grip so you can hold the tool steady and strike true. It saves the will you need for the long road. And if you say, I have nothing big to give, I smile. The self does not ask for big or small, it asks for true. 1 minute of real listening can save a life from silence. One kind line can turn a cliff into a step. One carried bag can teach your spine how to serve again, and your own light grows bright when you light another's candle. That is law. Now, breathe once with me and make this a vow you can carry the rest of today. One duty, one kindness, one letting go. Begin it before this minute ends. Pick the duty, wipe the sink, answer the message, file the paper, offer one kindness, a warm thank you, a lifted chair, a calm tone drop, one weight, close the noisy tab, forgive the small sting, walk past a fight that does not need you. Feel how the chest opens when the hand opens. That is your proof. And keep your eyes on me because we are ready to seal the whole road. You have remembered the seer, you have cut the veil, you have stood up inside, and you have served the same self in all. The flame is steady and the room is warm. Now we end with a vow that will live in your next 7 days, and a door to the next lesson that will keep this state even when the world grows loud again. We have walked together from the first quiet seeing of a thought to the clean cut of the veil, from the warm rise of inner strength to the soft work of serving all, and now I want to gather this road into your hands, so you can carry it past this hour and into your next breath. Hear me plain, and let it settle. You are the witness, free and bright. The scene changes and the seer remains. When you stand in that truth, fear gets small. When fear gets small, your next duty gets clear. And when you do that duty and let the fruit go, your peace stays with you and your power grows steady. And when you serve the same self in every face, the light you felt in you becomes the light you live by and the light you share. So we seal this with a vow that fits inside 1 week and inside any life, and I ask you to say it with me, so the words set the bone of your day. I am the self, bright, free, fearless. I see, I serve, I let go. Again, slower. Feel the spine answer you. I am the self, bright, free, fearless. I see, I serve, I let go. Now, here is how we live it for 7 days, so faith turns into proof you can hold. In the morning, give me 1 minute for the witness. Feel the breath at the nose. Name 3 body feels, 3 sounds, 3 thoughts. Whisper, I am the witness, then begin. At midday, give me 1 breath for the Maya. Check before 1 hard choice. Ask what is changing, who sees it. Rest 1 breath as the seer, then move. In your work, do the next duty that is tiny and near and clear. Finish it, and release the result like a leaf you put back on the river. At night, open a small page and write 3 seeds you planted today and 1 weed you dropped. Close the book and sleep like a worker who kept faith. This is simple, this is strong, this is enough. I want you to feel the change even now as you listen. The chest a little wider, the jaw a little softer, the eyes a little kinder. This is not a dream for holy rooms. This is a way to stand in a kitchen, on a bus, at a desk, in a hard hallway with bad light, and still be vast. You carry the sky inside you, and you can act from that sky all day. And if the world grows loud again, do not be afraid. We will train the mind to hold steady in noise. I will teach you 5 short drills, each under 1 minute, that lock attention on command and bring you back to this seat even when the storm shouts. They are simple, they are fast, they work, and they will make this state easier to keep. So, here is your next step. Do not wait. Click the next lesson and come with me. We will make your focus hold like a lamp in a windless place, and your peace will stop being a visitor and become your home. Until we meet there, keep your vow, remember the seer, do the next duty, serve and let go, write your 3 seeds and drop 1 weed, and walk on with a quiet mind and a warm heart. For you are not small, you are the self, bright, free, fearless, and the world is waiting for your steady light.